Is Kyle Kuzma still worth 2 first-round picks in any potential trade? I'm going to say no. But is he tradable? Absolutely, if the Wizards want to trade him. Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again, and I appreciate you guys making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. So the question for the day is Kyle Kuzma still worth 2 first-round picks? Because the reports say the Wizards are not walking away from that offer. They still expect 2 first-round picks for Kyle Kuzma. So can they attain that? I don't think so. But are they still in a hurry to move him? I'm going to still say, no, I think he could be around, and I'm going to tell you why. So we're going to look at, should Kyle Kuzma – I already told you no, he's not. I don't think he's going to get 2 first-round picks, but what are some destinations? There are 3 main destinations that I think can still work, even if the teams don't really reach the asking price of 2 first-round picks. And then we're going to look at, what is the likelihood he gets moved after the Denny move to Portland. So let's right out the gate. Do I still think that the Washington Wizards can get 2 first-round picks for Kyle Kuzma? And I'm going to say, I'm not entirely going to say no, because I do think that Will Dawkins has shown that he can be very crafty and very strategic in how he makes his deals. I get it. A lot of people weren't a fan of, looking at the Denny move was like, either you liked it or you didn't, right? Either you like Denny or you don't like Denny. It's just, that's how divisive things are, man. But can you still get 2 first-round picks for Kyle Kuzma? I'm not going to say no entirely. I think that if you do indeed get 2 first-round picks, they're going to be later picks, and they're going to be later in the first round. You're not going to get lottery picks, in my opinion. But I think that he definitely can still be a movable commodity if the Washington Wizards still want to move on from him. Now, looking at it, look, what factor keeps the Wizards from making a potential move? Now, we know what he provides. He's a constant source of 20 points a night. He's a guy that has shown leadership. He's a guy that has championship DNA. He's a guy that, this team, with his contract, with his skill point, he's not going to break the bank. He's not going to hurt the Wizards when it's on to the cap situation, because they're rebuilding. The cap situation is what it is, because if you look at the timeline of not only his contract, but the contract of Jonas Valanciunas and Jordan Poole, all 3 of them have 3 years left in their deal, which means it's pretty much you're looking at 3 years, because this week we're going to year 2 of Bilal Coulibaly's rookie contract. So in 3 years, Bilal Coulibaly will be up for a rookie scale extension. That's why if you look at the years, if you look at the time frame, 3 years is when things start cooking as far as signing extensions. You're definitely looking at signing Bilal Coulibaly to a rookie scale extension in 3 years. And that's why if you look at the 3 main contracts, not only of Kyle Kuzma, but of Jonas Valanciunas and Jordan Poole, they all line up to that point that they're going to utilize all 3 of these guys. Now, you guys know that I'm high on Jordan Poole. You guys know I'm high on Kyle Kuzma. And do I look at them as players that aren't tradable? No. We knew going to the offseason that Will Dawkins made it known that the only untradeable guy on the roster is Bilal Coulibaly. The Denny move proved that. Look, Will Dawkins is cooking, man. And if he retains guys, it's for mentorship, and it's because their contracts are team-friendly and that their contracts do not interpose. They don't mess up any future deals. Pretty much looking at Bilal Coulibaly, because right now I'm telling you, in 3 years, that's when they come off the books, and that's when a lot of money opens up to re-sign Bilal, and they're looking at other young players such as Alex Sarr and go from there. So can you still get 2 first-round picks? I'm going to say there's a 25% chance you can get 2 first-round picks. I think that the NBA market has made it known that not a lot of teams look at his value as being 2 first-round picks, and I know a lot of people have compared Kyle Kuzma and his potential trade to Mikal Bridges, and there's nothing against Kyle Kuzma, man. Like I said, I'm a fan of him. I think he's a good player. We know what he can and can't do. We know what his true value is to the Wizards. Now, him being the number 1 scorer in the Wizards is different than him in another team. He obviously is not going to be a number 1 option on other team. So obviously he carries more value here than he would other teams. But Mikal Bridges is just a totally different player, man. And as far as his impact, he has a bigger impact, in my opinion. That's why if you look at, yeah, you can still say there was an overpay when it comes to what was given up to acquire him. But for a team like the Knicks, man, are looking for that one piece, they may not necessarily look at that as an overpay because they're looking. Look, man, in my opinion, and like I said, you guys comment below and actually let me know what you guys are thinking, man. Because I think that the New York Knicks is the second best team in the East, and I think that Mikal Bridges trade really solidified that. You know, obviously Boston right now, as far as the Eastern Conference, Boston is the monster. I mean, they are the NBA champs. They are the team that is, quite frankly, the best team in the East, man. The Western Conference is by far the best conference. We all know that. The Western Conference, man, from 1 to 10 is locked with ballers, man, with teams are ready to roll. I mean, the Oklahoma City Thunder were the number 1 seed last year. So you see even 1 through 8, 1 through 10, as far as the Western Conference, are loaded up with teams that are ready to ball out this year, man. But looking at Eastern Conference, all roads go through Boston. And New York, man, with that move from Mikal Bridges, man, puts them at number 2, in my opinion. I think they're better than Milwaukee. I think now with Paul George and Philly, right now, Milwaukee and Philly are right there with each other, in my opinion, even though Milwaukee may be number 4, in my opinion. And you can go even deeper if we look at the Eastern Conference, but that's for another time, another day. But looking at Kyle Kuzma, I think he definitely could be a guy who can help a contending team. So we're going to look at 3 destinations real quick. Like I said, I don't think that we're going to be able to obtain 2 first-round picks. I think it's a 25% chance. And then within that 25% chance, I think that they're going to be picks that are either going to be later, 2028, 2029, 2027, and they're not going to be lottery picks. Now, things change in the NBA. So, you know, teams go from bad to worse. Things change with teams. So they very well can change going back, 3 years from now. But right now, I think the NBA, as far as rival executives, I think other teams have pretty much told the Wizards what they think Kyle Kuzma's value is, and it's not 2 first-round picks. So I think you're going to be able to get a decent haul for him, but not what the Wizards are expecting. So we'll start with the first team. We're looking at the Golden State Warriors. Now, as you know, Klay Thompson is no longer a Golden State Warrior. He is in Dallas, which I think is a good fit. But obviously, this is a Wizards channel, not a Mavericks channel. But definitely, I think that's a good move for them, man. Good move not only for Klay Thompson, but for the Dallas Mavericks, man, depending on certain factors like health. But looking at a potential trade with the Golden State Warriors, you'd be looking at the Wizards would receive Andrew Wiggins. Now, and they would also get Moses Moody, who he's a 3-and-D guard, and he's a guy who can play guard, he can play forward, and the 2028 first-round pick. So with a potential move with the Golden State Warriors, the Wizards would receive Andrew Wiggins, Moses Moody, and a 2028 first-round pick in exchange for Kyle Kuzma and Marvin Bagley III. So looking at this trade, swapping Wiggins and Moody for Kuzma and Marvin Bagley would not be a bad idea. Now, obviously, Wiggins would be a veteran piece. I believe he is going on an aspiring contract. Let me go ahead and look up his contract. But I'm high on Moses Moody. I think that, you guys let me know what you think about Moses Moody, man, because I think that he is a commodity that would be good with the Wizards, man. So let's take a look at Wiggins real quick in his contract situation. My go-to is Sport Truck. So let's see. Narrow it down. Yes, this he would have 2 years left. Andrew Wiggins would have 2 years left. So with a player option for the 3rd year, and the 3rd year would be the 2026-2027 season. So that really talks about brings the motive what Will Dawkins is about. Obviously we know Will Dawkins is with the Oklahoma City Thunder as far as the blueprint, right? He follows the blueprint of Oklahoma City, which is, when it comes to veteran players, picking up players on bad contracts. Right now, nothing against Andrew Wiggins, man, but he would be a bad contract. So, but I'm not going to say yes to this move, even though I do like Moses Moody. 2028 first-round pick is not enough to trade Kyle Kuzma and bring on a bad contract. I mean, for just 1 first-round pick, I like Moses Moody, but yes, Kyle Kuzma could go right in and be the starting small forward, but we would actually be doing Golden State a favor with this move because Kyle makes less, and Wiggins at this stage in his career, 1 first-round pick ain't enough to take on that contract, in my opinion. That would be a move where I would require 2 first-round picks, if not more. Because again, you're trading away a guy in Kyle Kuzma with a team-friendly deal for a player in Andrew Wiggins with 2 years left, which, yeah, he's athletic. He's a guy who could probably get better to a certain degree on a team like the Wizards. But if you look at, how many guys on the team need a ball, especially young guys, to improve, I would not welcome the deal because, again, picking up a bad contract like Andrew Wiggins, which in this situation he is, 1 first-round pick is just not enough. I would actually want 2 first-rounders and probably 1 or 2 second-rounders. And we've dealt with Golden State before, so I think they're going to hesitate to send us any more assets, man. So that's my thinking behind it. I would say no to this move because I'm not going to give away, because you're doing Golden State a favor by giving them a team-friendly deal in Kyle Kuzma. Now, Martin Bagley III is, obviously the injury history, his value varies. I like Moses Moody. I think that if you look at his 3-and-D potential, I think he could definitely be a really good player for the Wizards, man. But does he line up with the timeline? So I'm going to say no. But we do have a couple more moves. One is the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the other is the Sacramento Kings, a team that's always known to be linked to Kyle Kuzma. So we're going to look at those 2 trades, and then we're going to look at John Wall. Is it time to bring him back and be a mentor? Is it time to bring back J-Dub to the 202? So we're going to talk about that. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by Gametime. As you guys know, if you follow the show, you guys know that your boy is a sports head and goes to games year-round. Right now it's baseball season, so I'm going to hit at the Camden Yards on the 13th of this month, next weekend. So looking forward to that, man, because it is battle for first place in the American League East. But, I'm going to football, basketball, college, and sports level. And I have experience with all the ticket apps. And to me, Gametime is the one that makes the most sense. And there's 3 reasons why, okay? Number one, last-minute tickets. You can save up to 60% off buying last-minute tickets, not only for sports, but for concerts, comedy shows, theater shows, etc. What else? All in pricing. This feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees to checkout. Some, I ain't throwing nobody out there, but there's some people, as far as the other apps, that, once you pay for the tickets, you still have all the fees and all that, and it really makes it pricey. You don't see that with Gametime. All right, what else do I like? Seat views. You get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy, so you know exactly what your view is. So that is key, because in the past, man, I've been sitting behind beams of FedEx, and I wasn't too happy about it. So again, definitely consider Gametime. Take the guesswork out of buying Major League Baseball tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. And again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day long? Have to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel, program free every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. All right, let's get into it. We got a few more trades to look at, and then we're going to answer a question. Is it time? If you look at Jonas Valanciunas, he was obviously a move that looks at mentoring a young Alex Sarr. So John Wall could be a mentor in the 202. Obviously has links to the organization. Is it time to mend fences with Ted Leonsis and bring him back? But first, let's look at the last 2 guys, or last 2 teams as far as potential destinations for Kyle Kuzma. So looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, with this potential move, we would receive Jared Allen and the 2025 second-round pick for Kyle Kuzma. Lord, and these 3 trades are off of, off of GimmeSports.com. So, Gimme Sports is definitely shout out to Gimme Sports for the 3 ideas. Like I said, I went big on the Golden State Warriors deal. This move, I'm not big on, because you don't even get a first-round pick. So I'm going to say, and obviously no to that. You strive for 2. Look, if the asking price is going to be 2, it's like going to, any negotiations, you go with the higher price, right? And then you negotiate from there. You start with 2 and you go from there. Do I think they're going to get 2? Is a very slim chance, in my opinion. But I think that, Will Dawkins, he's definitely going to work on that. He's definitely going to try to make it happen, in my opinion. So looking at this move, Jared Allen with Jonas Valanciunas, I'm going to say no. We already got a center. Jared Allen would be a very intriguing piece, but then again, because I know right now they're looking to move either him or Evan Mobley, because the tall lineup just ain't working with the Cavaliers, and they're all about space, right? With and right now Garland is another player that is actually tradable right now, because I know that Donovan Mitchell did just sign a long-term extension with the Cavs. So, looking at the potential fit beside him, you can see, Garland or Evan Mobley or even Jared Allen be moved. But looking at this trade real quick, I'm going to say no. I mean, a second-round pick. I mean, obviously this is the older these are older trades, because this is a 2025 second-round pick. So we already went through this next year. My bad. So still, second-round pick just ain't enough. I mean, you at least want to get 1 pick in a player. And Jared Allen, looking at, Allen, like I said, I'm big on Allen. You know, he's more of a traditional big, but I'm gonna pull up his contract real quick. Go to my go-to sports. All right, so looking ahead at his contract situation, so he would have 2 years left. Now they're not bad, $20 million a year. So you'd have 2 years left, and then he will become an unrestricted free agent at age 28 before the 2026-2027 season. So, but right now with Giannis, it's been a long day, y'all. With Jonas Valanciunas, man, I don't see us making that move, in my opinion, because you already got two big men with him and Alex Sarr as far as the power forward and the center position this year, because that very well because they have to start Alex Sarr. So you're looking at Jonas Valanciunas and Sarr being the 4 and the 5, and I think that's a good lineup, man. You know, very good lineup because both guys can stretch the floor, very versatile bigs. So I'm gonna say no. I don't see Jared Allen being the guy because we have Jonas Valanciunas, and I think the ship has sailed in adding to the center position. Now, again, I stress this all the time. A lot of dominoes are going to fall. You know, obviously, Tyus Jones, we're going to talk about that this week. Look at potential fits. Landry Shamet, another guy that could very well be moved or not even come back because his contract's not guaranteed for the season coming up. But I'm going to say no because, here's the thing. Look at Kyle Kuzma. Big fan of Kyle Kuzma. And I like his game and I like his fit with the Wizards. Now, it's all about down the road as far as fit, as far as his contract not messing up any potential moves as far as signing Bilal Coulibaly. But not only do we not have to be in a hurry, we got to get max value, and not getting a first round pick. I'm going to say no to this deal. So let's move on to the next. Sacramento Kings. And this has been a team that I've talked about a lot on this channel. Me and Ed have talked about it the last 2 years with Kyle Kuzma. And they've been a team that's been talked as far as being a potential destination for a while now. If you look at before the 2020-2021 season, or after the 2020, let me get it out. After the 2020-21 season, when we shipped Russell Westbrook to the Lakers, before that move happened, a Kyle Kuzma move to the Sacramento Kings was this close to happening. So there's been a link between Kyle Kuzma and the Sacramento Kings for a while now. So this move would be the Wizards would receive Harrison Barnes and Chris Duarte. And I believe, yes, Chris Duarte is an expiring contract and a 2026 first round pick. This is out of the three trades, this is the one I do kind of like. Harrison Barnes, kind of the same factor. He would be a guy where he'll be a mentor, he'll be a vet. But Chris Duarte, he's a guy that doesn't fit the timeline, but he's a younger player, but he's an expiring contract. So you could definitely flip him and or Harrison Barnes at the deadline. Now, Harrison Barnes would actually be the harder of the two to flip. And Chris Duarte, the only knock against him is he would be going on his third year already in the league. And for his age, that's, he's slowly kind of turning into journeyman status, in my humble opinion. But, excuse me, y'all. But a 2021 first round pick is not bad. Like I said, out of the three trades, I think this is the more realistic one. Like I said, you still aim for the 2 first round picks, but Harrison Barnes, Chris Duarte, and the 2026 first round pick ain't bad, and that's the one I'm going to say yes to if I had to choose between these three moves. So you guys comment below. Let me know what you guys are thinking, man. Which one of the three moves out of these three trade proposals from this website do you guys think are the more realistic? I think the Sacramento Kings one is. Definitely let me know. Like I said, there's not a rush right now to move on from Kyle Kuzma, but, if you're looking at, the Deni Avdija trade, if you move Deni, you have to seriously look at moving Kyle Kuzma, even though, he does fit. Right now, we don't have a clear replacement for him on the young roster. And yes, would that really be a deal or not a deal, but would that really be a reason not to move him? No, because you're trying to be as bad as possible. Cooper Flag is next up on the agenda as far as the next draft. So you're trying to be bad. Not saying that we are technically tanking, but you definitely want to be a top 5 pick as far, the next year's draft if you want to have a chance at Cooper Flag. And I think the Wizards are definitely looking forward to the next couple of drafts, man, as far as adding young talent to this team. And they should. So are you necessarily in a hurry? No, but after the Deni Avdija trade, you can definitely say, look, you move Deni, then you got to look at moving Kuz. You got to look at moving Landry Shamet. You got to look at getting value through a potential signing trade with Tyus Jones. And then it is what it is because, again, I'm not going to harp on the Deni trade, but if you're willing to move a 23-year-old prospect who was homegrown, who improved every year, who was on a more of a team-friendly deal than Kuz, then you have to at least look at the possibility that you move on from Kyle Kuzma too, because the biggest excuse with not moving Kyle Kuzma has been a team friendly deal. And if you look at Denny's deal, it was even more team friendlier. So I think that any reason why you shouldn't or why you should, I kind of mix that around, but any reasons why you shouldn't, I think don't really add up. His contract is team friendly, but it's also team friendly for a prospective team who wants to add talent and not break the bank to do so. So yeah, I mean, after moving Denny, it become clear that Will Dawkins is putting a stamp on his front office, and he should. I think that's a good thing. That's what you want to look for. Look, he's solidifying himself as the guy, and look, he's done an immaculate job, in my opinion. Now, there's moves here and there that you kind of question, but not everybody's gonna be happy, as you guys know. I think overall, Will Dawkins has done a great job. And looking at Kyle Kuzma, if you move Denny, because again, Bilal's the guy. Everything centers around Bilal and now Alex Sarr. Bilal Coulibaly and Alex Sarr are the focal point of this front office. So if you find a good deal for Kyle Kuzma, Landry Shamet, Tyus Jones, you make that move, and you very well can see Kyle Kuzma moved at the deadline. So, and again, you may not even see him get moved at all because there's really not a rush because, again, with him and Jonas and Jordan Poole, their contracts line up. So there's not a rush right now. But if you find the right deal, kind of like the Denny move, you make that deal. So before we roll out, everybody, should John Wall be considered by the ownership group to make amends with and bring him back to DC? And I'm going to say yes, to be a mentor. Now, any potential move with John Wall, that he's probably not going to get any kind of playing time. If you look at what's going on with, we have Malcolm Brogdon, we have Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole is pretty much the starter. I put a couple polls up. One was a potential lineup. How many games can we win with a potential lineup? So definitely check that out, guys. And I put another poll out. Who starts, Jordan Poole or Malcolm Brogdon? I firmly believe it's going to be Jordan Poole, but as you guys know me, I look at every perspective, every option, and I try to get you guys involved and see what everybody's mind's at and who you guys think should be the starter. I expect Jordan Poole to probably get most of the votes. He would get mine. But Malcolm Brogdon, again, fits him over with these other veteran guys. As far as they're adding a lot of veteran guys here to mentor, but they're going to be flipping a lot of guys. Like I said, Will Dawkins is cooking. So definitely give him some time to cook and add these picks. So let's get to John Wall. Kind of just did, but as you guys know me, I like to ramble because I like talking ball. So getting back to my man, J Dub, my favorite Wizard of all time. Should we consider bringing him back? And if not this year, in the near future, yes, I think you should, because I think that he was very, very important to the city, not only on the court, but off the court. What he provided on the court, his era, it was kind of like the Gilbert Arenas era. We only got so far. It was marred by misses in the draft, through Ernie Grunfeld and Tommy Shepard. It was marred by, and with John Wall, not so much Tommy Shepard, mostly Ernie Grunfeld, but we just could never provide enough talent around him. We missed the draft time and time again, and Otto Porter, a guy outside of Denny, was the one other guy that we developed and we kept in house and we re-signed him, but he was never the guy at the wing as far as a starter. He was a nice piece off the bench. We paid him to be a starter, but he never was. A couple of examples, not drafting Klay Thompson. That was a big miss because John Wall was a catalyst of wanting us to draft Klay Thompson. You could have saw a different era with Klay Thompson on this team. Not trading for Paul George, another one. So, we never really put enough talent around him. We did to a certain degree through the draft. Bradley Beal was a good backcourt mate with John Wall. We were a really good backcourt. Kelly Oubre was a good compliment. Markieff Morris is kind of the Charles Oakley for John Wall, the enforcer on the team. And Marcin Gortat, yes, he was very limited, but he ended up being a really good center, especially in pick-and-roll situations with John Wall, and able to, really coexist with John Wall as far as being very productive at the center position. But off the court, and I'm not going to get too political, man. I think that most of us who live in the D.C., Maryland, and Virginia area know about the economic woes of the city of Washington, D.C., and even areas of Maryland, whether you look at PG County, Montgomery County to a certain degree, because Montgomery County, dude, that's money. I'm not going to say too much about Northern Virginia because there's a lot of wealth in Northern Virginia, but not to take away the fact that there are certain areas in Virginia that kind of unappreciated as far as not getting the coverage as far as being low income. So we all know the situation in DC. John Wall has been a guy who, if you look at his work as far as the youth and the low income communities of Washington, D.C., he was serving, he's serving out meals, giving out book bags, school supplies, clothing. He did a lot for people that the people that we elect did very little for, in my opinion. Like I'm just gonna keep it there as far as the political part, but that that's real talk. He did a lot for the youth of Washington D.C. He did a lot for the low income communities of Washington D.C. And he's very important. He's very much loved, and he should be. He's my favorite Wizard. He came in and he just became such a local icon. And I think that if you look at last year, they brought in Gilbert Arenas. They celebrated the big three with him, Antoine Jameson, and Caron Butler. If Gilbert Arenas with the guns issue, him living in the halfway house, him catching charges. If you bring him back, I think to a certain degree, I think the ship is sailed for this year. But next year, I think you definitely explore that. You explore him coming back into the fold because he's very, very, very much loved here still. And this is a new era we're in with the Washington Wizards. You got a new GM, a new front office that is very much different than the last couple of front offices. Whether it's Tommy Shepard or Ernie Grunfeld, this front office has shown that they're ready to actually build this team for longevity, for sustainable success. There's new sheriff in town. Ted Leonsis, I know the relationship, it varies. I know he wasn't happy about the gang signs. He wasn't happy about the injuries, obviously. But I think that, you look at Gilbert Arenas, that's an argument. Obviously, what's worse, bringing a gun out or flashing gang signs? Obviously, both situations are not really what you want to see from your star player. I get all that. But then when you look at the realm of the NBA overall, Kevin Porter Jr. has got a contract. So if Kevin Porter Jr. can allegedly beat up his girlfriend, you can bring back John Wall. And I'm not trying to throw any shade on Kevin Porter Jr. His situation is his situation. Is alleged. I mean, there's a lot going into that. I gotta say alleged just to kind of cover myself, even though, I'm just gonna keep it there, y'all, with that situation. But I guess the point I'm making is that you see a lot of players that have been given second chances, and was he given a second chance to a certain degree? Yeah, I mean, he eventually played for Houston. He played for the Clippers. He just injuries, man. He just lost that speed. Even though in glimpses you saw it with John Wall, with the Clippers and with the Rockets, just he wasn't the same player. But I think in a mentor role, in a kind of on the bench player coach situation, you bring John Wall back. You bring him back. It's time to reunite this organization, this city back with John Wall. So you guys let me know what you're thinking. Like I said, he's obviously not going to play. We're looking at it from pretty much as a standpoint of young guys can learn from him. Let's be real. And he has that tie to the organization in the city, and I think it would be good for all parties, man. It would be good to see him back in the fold with the Washington Wizards, and it would be really good to see him teach these young guys and work in tandem with Kyle Kuzma, Jonas Valanciunas, Malcolm Brogdon, Landry Shamet, a lot of these vets we have to work with these young guys, man, because right now is the big time where, you're going to see a lot of turnaround as far as this roster, but right now is about scouting and development and culture, and we have all that in place, and I don't think John Wall's going to mess that up, in my opinion. I think he's going to come in, he's going to fall right in line, and he's going to help this team work these young guys into being future pieces of a championship team. So you guys let me know in the comment section. Let me know what you're thinking. Would you like to see J-Dub back in the 202? So everybody, like I said, tomorrow night we will have Locked On Blazers host on. I just got done doing the show with him, man. So definitely looking forward to that. So definitely we're going to talk about Malcolm Brogdon. What does he bring to the 202? What does he bring not only to the Washington Wizards organization, but what can he provide for these young players? What kind of mentorship and experience can he give to these young players? So we're going to chop it up with Locked On Blazers tomorrow. And then we're going to look at later in the week, we're going to look at these new jerseys came out. The new City Edition jerseys coming out. I was going to talk about it tonight, but news came out about the two first round picks for Kyle Kuzma. So I wanted to get that out. So we're probably looking at, we're going to talk about the jerseys, man. I think they're fire. So you guys definitely go out and get your Alex Sars when they drop, because I was going, man, the funny part was I was going to get my first Denny this year, man, but Denny got traded, and I still might, man. I might still go, because I know that the price is going to go down on his jersey, so I might still go get me a Denny Avia. But this new City Edition, I'm rolling with Alex Sar, man. Oh, no, you know what? Because my wife told me don't get a jersey for a player who hasn't played yet. I'm going with my Bilal. I'm getting me my first Bilal this year, man, with the new City Edition. So we're going to talk about that this week. So a lot to talk about this week, guys. Obviously, we're digging into free agency. A lot of moves have happened for the Wizards, and most of the moves in the NBA have happened. And probably within the next 4 weeks, man, it's going to get a lot more quieter. So definitely, you guys know your boy, man. I'm gonna still get a lot of content out, man. We're gonna look at every variables, lineups, everything, man. So definitely appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to rock with your boys. So hails to the Wizards and peace. I will see you guys tomorrow night.